We're
Okay,
back.
we're back.
Sorry, we slipped into the
Minor
twilight zone.
minor glitch. Time. What's it called? Space time continuum shift.
We actually
Didn't
had a Freaky
line
Friday
back
and a
up.
time lapse, so we all switched bodies, went back to 1942. We're back and in our own bodies, so let's continue the show.
You were saying something, TJ. You had something to ask.
I yeah. I was asking. So how do we go from there? Like how do
Yeah.
we kick that into gear?
Um, I hate to say it this plainly, but I just need someone to take me seriously that has some kind of influence, right? Someone to take me seriously and go, "Oh, you want to do that? Okay, let's do it." And then someone who has connections to go, "Let's create this board. Let's approach, these local banks. Let's approach these local businesses and be like, "Hey, there's a tax credit for you too, right? Like, let's put this pot of money together and then let's put the parameters together, right? Just like any grant you would apply for as a theater artist, for instance, there's grants out there that you apply for to do projects. So just create I'm like, just create the board, but create the board, ask people that you think are going to really have a good idea about what is a viable project, create the board, get the money, set the parameters out there, and have people apply and have them pitch, right? Set that up. And then when the money's gone, the money's gone. And then we move to the next cycle, right? But then I just think that it just means someone has to believe that this is important enough to help connect me and other people and get that board off the ground. I can't do it myself, right? I don't, funny enough, like you'd think I have the connections, but I don't. I don't have the connections to the people who would a Hancock Whitney, an auctioneer, a Gulf Coast Bank. I keep saying them because I can't think of other people. The Bensons, right,
Yeah.
might go, oh, if the board is made up of these people, I feel very confident in investing my money in this and having them be the go-between me and these projects so that I can invest in something. And most of them need a tax write-off anyway, right? So it's just they
Right.
just need to trust the people that are vetting the projects. It's much harder for, I have a lot of writing. It's much harder for a writer to go to find these people and then be like, hey, I want to make this movie or this TV series. Can I have some money? It's much easier, I think, to have a board of people who are credible, who have connections to those people already to say, hey, we're trying this thing, we're really going to grassroots launch Louisiana film, actual Hollywood frickin' South film and television. And these are the people who are on the board and the people who are going to take your money and listen to these pitches and invest it well. That's what we need. I would be great at putting together parameters and how to apply. And that, I think if you're applying, you need to have not just a script, you need to have a pitch deck, and you need to have a budget, right? Because we don't want to invest in things that they're like, I think it's going to cost. It's like, no, what is it going to cost,
Yeah.
right? So I think I would be great at that part of it for sure. But I need the people who have connections to people with money to go, hey, we're going to put this board together and we're really going to invest in Louisiana film for real. For real.
Yeah.
We need to bring together people that have the skill set. I mean, I know people, we all know people. We just need to bring the right people together. If you're maybe not as good at pitching, maybe this person is, and maybe this person has the connections, and this person has the scripts, and this person knows how to bring a project together. I I I think I'm seeing what you're putting down there.
Well, like, what's the
Yeah.
main problem that everybody has with making a film? What's the number one problem?
Money.
What's the number two problem? Distribution,
Mm.
right? So if we can, like, if you have money, and I won't say the film that I worked on, but I worked
Mm.
on a film that was a first time director writer,
Yeah.
okay? And got really famous people to do it. Why? They had their own money, right? So, like, what do we all need to get distribution? We need a couple ringers. We need some famous people in some roles, right? How do we get famous people? Money, right? So if you have the money to do the project, then you can reach out to the agency and say, hey, I'm funded for this project. Will you have Kristen Wiig read it? Will you have Sean Astin read it? Right? But you can't even begin. And then maybe the distribution piece happens then, right? Because you're like, we've got Kristen Wiig and Sean Astin starring. And then the distribution people go, ooh, okay, right?
I know
You
those
can't
names.
come in. I know those names, right? And then the rest of it is populated with local people. We have that talent, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of someone taking me seriously and going, yeah, we really do want to invest in Louisiana film and television. We want to invest in it. We want to make it happen. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for someone to take me seriously and be like, let's do this. And I've yet to find someone to do it.
Do we do it as SAG or as indie?
I mean, I think you would want to do it as SAG because, you know, the people that would probably be on the board would be in that industry. I mean, I
Because you
want
would
to
want
like,
you would want the big SAG names.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, look at what Reese Witherspoon has been able to do with like Gina Davis and her, right? What I'm talking about is that, but on a local level, which is like all those women know each other and have worked together and trust each other. And so they bring projects to each other and they are producing this great stuff. They also happen to have crap tons of money, right? So why don't we locally find those people who have connections to people with money and bring crap tons of money in and then distribute it to projects that are ready, worthy, pitch ready, so that then they can go and get distribution. They can get those star names. And we can bring more work here ourselves instead of waiting for things to land here.
Yeah.
I'm available for all things that land here. But I also want us to have our own thing. Because then when it's like any business, right? If you are relying on all outsource stuff for your business to run, when the world tips, you tip. If we are our own business that has our own mechanisms in place to continue the industry, we're not going to we're going to have like a slope instead of dips, right? If we're completely reliant on outside projects coming here, every time the industry has a crash, we're going to crash. And then eventually people are going to leave the state. And then eventually you're not going to be able to promote the tax credits because nothing's happening.
Yeah.
If it goes on for years and years. And I think for the foreseeable next couple of years, we're going to be in a tough spot. So now's the time. Now's a great time. I mean, 5 years ago would have been a better time, but now is a great time.
So one of the things I wanted to touch on, what is your take on, and you might have covered it briefly when I stepped away for a second, but why have we gotten to this point? What happened? People keep saying, well, it was the strike. I don't think it was. I don't think it was just the strike. Something shifted and things have changed, and I've been trying to wrap my head around it, and I can't figure out why.
So, again, I'm not going to make any friends here. I'm not going to quote the exact person, but a pretty well-known casting director said back in 2005, that the whole working as a local hire thing was a slippery slope.
Mm.
Right? And I completely understand as an actor trying to get a leg up, wanting to get a job. I have done it. No, that's not true. I've only ever worked SAG modified local hire, which, by the way, is not a real contract, in case anyone didn't know. That's not a contract. You are still working local hire. They're just paying you per diem hotel and travel. Just so you know, it's not a contract. That's something I didn't learn until I'd done it for several years. But I think that increasingly, we have continued to travel to wherever for whatever job because we want to get the work, right? Simultaneously, producers have gravitated to that and are trying to get the job done cheaply. And they're not totally to blame because the industry wants the jobs done more cheaply now too. The problem was the slippery slope was it was cheaply done in the United States, and now it's being cheaply done overseas or in other countries because it's always going for the lowest bean counter.
And that's why a lot of stuff's gone to Canada.
Yeah, like in the last year, I've been pinned for a series in Hungary, Canada, and Mexico, all of which I was pinned for, and they checked all my availability, and I didn't end up booking because I'm sure they found someone in Canada or Mexico or Hungary who do a great American accent, and they did that job. And they should, because it's going to be cheaper than flying me there and putting me up, right? So I think we've gotten here because of the strikes, yes, but also because I think that the money is not, we're not putting money in our own communities. It's exactly what I just said. We're not investing in our own film community. If Atlanta did what I'm talking about, they would have their own ecosystem. If Louisiana did what I'm talking about, we would have our own ecosystem, right? That would be able to weather the storm of the greater Hollywood industry. When I say to you, okay, I'm trying to like figure out how to say this without revealing. I was pinned for a series. I won't tell you which one, like seriously pinned. And the person that got cast in the role of ultimately that I was pinned for is very, very famous. Did many, many seasons of a show on a network television station, right? And I thought to myself, poor that actress. She just came off of 5 years of being the star of a series, and she's playing this recurring character on this television series that she could do in her sleep, right? And that's because there is so little work. And so now all of the people who are more famous are coming into the roles that more blue collar actors like me traditionally would do, because there's just not as much work for us here.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
And that was the
I mean, I don't know
piece.
if that's
That
the
was the
answer,
piece of
but
the puzzle that I missed, was the traveling for the working for local hire.
yeah. I mean, it's wild because instinctually, because I think I was fortunate that I started in film and television in 2005. And so I hit some golden years there where no one would ever ask you to be a local hire if you weren't. So when I booked some things that I won't talk about, there was a like, we won't even look at your tape unless you work as a local hire. Well, because I had those golden years in the early part of my career, I was like, I'm not a local hire. I don't live here. And then suddenly I was cast and I got the better deal, right? Now it's like, just assume that you work local hire. You must. And I think that weakens the union, right? Because then we're everybody can compete now, right? If I can, and you know who can really compete? People with money. If I'm a
Yeah.
person who is of means, I can be local wherever I want. With
Yep.
me, when they're like, you need to be a local hire, I'm like, this shoots in, I'm making this up, this shoots in New York. I have 2 kids and I'm a single mom. I am not working local hire. I'm not coming out of pocket, leaving my children at home to come and work local hire. I love what I do, but my kids are more important. I got to pay my mortgage, my rent at the end of the month. And I can't do that if I work local hire.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away from this with like $5,000 if I work a week, because you're also doing only scale, right? And I'm going to pay $600 to $800 in plane tickets in New York City. This is not a real job, by the way. And I'm going to pay $1,500 for my hotel. I can't do that. I've got 2 kids. One who's about to go to college. God bless me.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I'm not at all like looking down on actors who work local hire. I get it. I get needing to get the credits and wanting to be available. But the industry increasingly bends towards people who already have the means to do it on whatever terms. So it's actually socioeconomically awful. It's the opposite of what the American dream is, right? That if you have the talent, you can do it. Like, not anymore. You better have talent, and you better have money to get yourself to and from set, so that the money that you make doesn't matter. And that's boy, what are we missing out on? The actors that you think of in our lifetime who were not wealthy, that we would have never known if they were coming through the industry at this moment, because they wouldn't have been able to afford to be seen. Anger. I don't like it. It's not cool.
Well, but it's brilliant insights though, and it's answers to questions that I've been having for months of trying to figure out what is happening all of a sudden. But I've got, I mean, just like you, I've got friends that are more successful than I at this, and they're telling me the same thing. It's slowing down. But then again, I also have friends that are getting auditions every week. A lot of it they're self-submitting for, but still they're at least getting auditions. And man, that's a lot of stuff that's happening that's causing this industry that we love to tank.
Yeah, and I'll just come full circle back to the industry is tanking, and we do have control if we invest in ourselves. We don't have control over what Hollywood's going to do. I have a feeling that's going to take some time for that cycle to play itself out, right? But what we do have control over in the current moment is what we're doing about it locally. We do have control over that. It's just a matter of people going, I believe in us. I believe in our writers. I believe in our stories. And I believe that if I invest money here with a good board of people to oversee it, we can make some incredible stuff happen while we're waiting for Hollywood to figure out how many AI actors they want to cast.
Yeah.
That's even a discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm biting my lip. It's like, they're not actors, but I know you know
Yeah,
that. So I don't have to say it.
Brian's.
Oh, they're not actors.
I saw
Like,
Brian's
they're
face
not.
twitch.
Yeah. AI bots they're going to use. Let me correct myself, because that's what it is. Like, while Hollywood decides how many AI bots they're going to use to replace real live breathing people, why don't we go, okay, y'all are clearly having a moment over there. We're going to invest in Louisiana, my home, where I am a native, surrounded by brilliant actors and actresses, brilliant crew people, brilliant writers, brilliant directors, brilliant producers, brilliant studios with everything you need.
Amen.
I'm like, see,
Yeah.
unfriend, unfollow.
That's all right. Cut the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, we don't need it.
50. I'll be 50 in April, and I don't know if you guys have heard of the We Do Not Care Club, the woman who's like talks about being in perimenopause and menopause and putting the world on notice that we just do not care. I'm just so there right now. Just so like, I mean, it can't get worse. Like, it can't get worse than it is right now, with like very few auditions and everything local hire and everything scale, no matter if you're a guest star or recurring, or like, can't get worse. So I might as well just be honest, and that's my policy. I've always been very, very honest about this journey. I don't sugarcoat it. I love it still too. I love it deeply. I love it from the bottom of my heart. It's what I was born to do.
I've heard there's no negotiating either. If you book something, if it's scale, there's no negotiating. They'll go right to the next person. They don't even care anymore.
Yep. It's that baseline love of integrity that I feel is missing so many places, like just integrity of the human spirit, and love of other people and care for other people. I mean, going full circle back to the beginning of this conversation of people feeling like they can say awful things about a real human. Why? Why are we doing that? To what end? Right? Are we going to just like fight each other until this team got this many, this team got this many? To what end? Right? We've killed, we've hurt, we've maimed over here, we've killed, we've hurt, we've maimed over here, and now let's sit down at the table and talk. That's not how it works. We'll never be even. We'll only ever love and care for each other. Speak to each other, everybody that you can, that isn't actively hurting you. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
With the knowledge that they're a human with a life and experience that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're all spent after that.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
No, don't apologize. It
It's the
needed to be said.
yeah.
It really did.
You can stand for values, and we can still promote ourselves. We can still take care of ourselves here in Louisiana. We're an amazing, amazing place with amazing people, and I really believe in us. I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, me too.
So if people want to take your class, how do they find you?
So you can find me on all social media at Annie Moho, ANNIEMOHO. And if you just look, I'll repost again, but if you look at some of my past Instagram posts, it has an email address that's very hard to say on air, but I'll say it. It's amahonie@pleinairactingstudio.com. Plein is spelled PLEIN. There's a long story behind that name. But if you look in my Instagram posts, you can find that email address so that you don't have to try to remember it. But Annie Moho.
We'll pin
I
it.
have a
We'll pin it in the
great,
comments.
great. And I have a wonderful class right now, 10 folks right now doing the Suzuki Method of Actor training with me. And I'm hoping to continue booking for the foreseeable future and teach every Saturday because I love teaching it, and I do it with the class too because it just grounds me. I call it my actor reset button. It brings me back to home.
Is it a series like you have to a course like you have to start to finish, or is it are they standalone classes? How is it set up?
So you can drop in and take. I would always say don't just take one,
Sure.
right? Obviously, the more you take, the better I can get at helping hone the things that you need. But if you come in and we're 3 classes in, I know how to. I've been teaching it for 20 years, so I know how to pull you aside and help you get caught up. Also, there's a gal in my class named Nicole Miller, who is a student of mine at Loyola, who's been with me for 10 years, who is taking the classes with me, and she's there to kind of help with catching people up where they need to. But the training is the training, and I'll always be able to get somebody in there and get them at their speed to line up with the rest of the group. So um, my hope is just to continue and make it a little culty, a little bit culty, a little bit. Every Saturday, everybody comes and does Suzuki, including me.
Sweet.
Sounds good. Well, Anne, thank you so much for joining us. It has
Thank
been
you. I feel like I just been like blah 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 blah.
We
no,
like blah blah. That way
that's
I don't blah blah.
yeah. These podcasts are about the guest, and you had a lot of really important things to pass on, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you came on and cleared some stuff up. I'm sorry that you had to go through trolls. I hate that we had to address that, but I'm glad we did.
Me too.
So thank you so much for coming on, Ann.
Thank you for having me, TJ and Brian. You're doing really, really important work.
Thank you.
This is the epitome of Louisiana investing in itself right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I got Scott. This
Thank-
is Louisiana investing in itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yep.
All right,
I
folks.
keep telling TJ how important we are, but he doesn't believe me.
That's funny. All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
All right.